Deadzone Vault, my fellow gamers. I wanted to do a follow-up video for my little resin nameless unboxing. So here I've got this awesome Bathomite, and the way he fits on his base is whack. Okay, so you got this small connection point. We'll use my little sculpting tool here. You got this small connection point right here between the end of his tail and the base. That's where that connects. This one leg will connect, and solidly do so, connect the base. This one's a floater and this one's a floater. So if you see, I had to pull some super glue, that's what that's called. I had to pull some of that there and pull it around there, because nowhere else does this model touch the base. Okay, now when I say I pulled it, it just made a gap that filled the space between the bottom of this resin claw and the top of the base. And I even did so on this second, or the middle claw. If you see, there's a little gap there. So that's what I did, and the main thing that's holding it up is this. Now, with good super glue, like what I'm using here, Loctite Professional Liquid, this stuff is righteous. I used it on aircraft carriers. Well, I used the big brother of that, and it worked really good. So here, I want to point out some things. They really do resin kits very nicely. All this is cut out very specifically. So when you go to just put this claw in, it matches up perfectly. You can almost see a little bit of the divot of the cutout there. All these things fit perfectly. The legs are a bit of a conundrum, really. You have to look at the box art a lot and try to push fit these things in. So here, I mounted a magnet. Ooh, it stuck. So all I had to do was take an X-Acto knife and just scrape around the edge just a little bit to widen that hole. Okay, and you set the magnet in pretty flush, right? And a little bit sticking up, but you set it in as flush as you can. And yes, here on this claw section, there was a lot of air pockets. It happens with resin, so a little liquid green stuff works too. And I had one back here, so not too bad actually. Red, you can't really see it, and when I put on the ballast and whatnot, you really can't see it. There's a little green stuff there where that joined up, because that broke from the sprue. So anyway, let's move on to these attachments here. So here we have, this is what I really wanted to talk about here. Okay, so this is some kind of a mortar attachment or something like that. And up here was a hole. So in this hole, you can see the liquid green stuff kind of bottoming out here and going all the way back behind this. It was a very, very thin void. And even here, you can see, that's how thin it is. You can see the green stuff through it. Sometimes these giant air pockets do occur. They're extremely rare, and you just have to deal with them. Or, I mean, you could call Mantic and say, look guys, I got this huge problem, and take pictures of it, make sure they understand the problem. But with me, I've been doing this for a little while. You just shove liquid green stuff in there, and it should make it fairly robust. I mean, this is a miniature. We're not going to be putting a bunch of weight on it or anything like that. So, but this is one of those times where it's like, and oh man, resin is terrible, because it was very, very thin. I could flex it when I squeeze it between my fingers. Just a bad deal all around. But I mean, it was a huge void that was all in here. Everything was paper thin. So right here, I put in a magnet, fairly flush. See, you can't really see. Okay, but anyway, so that magnet is in there. And when I do magnets, especially like this one has 4 magnets in it. There's these 3 pieces. And what I do is I sink my initial magnet where the hard point is. And then I take my little stack of 3 magnets or whatever, and I slap it on, okay? And then here I have my little metal file to work with, and it has a little metal end here. And let me just illustrate this. I'll get out my pack of magnets. Sorry, y'all. Okay, I have a bunch of magnets here. All right, so I'll do exactly what. Here. Got a set of just 3 of them. And you just slap them on top. Okay. So now that you've got a little stack on top, okay, you take your Sharpie and you can mark the top of the first one nice and black, okay? And yes, you'll smudge this, because you're going to be working faster. So then you take your magnets off, okay? They'll just slide right off of there. Now, you know, they all line up, okay? They all line up with polarity. So this top one, if you take these bottom 2 off, okay, this top one that I marked is going to, boom, connect, okay? And so you still have your black mark there. You just remove that top one. You got your black mark. Okay, and what I would do is flip it around. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm being an idiot. Yes, I am. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip it around. Okay, and then I'll drill out my hole, or what have you. And with the black mark down, I'll insert it. That way, the silver mark we know is polarized to that. That means it's going to attach to it. Okay, you just have to remember, flip your black mark around so that your black mark is the one that's being glued into the cavity of your attachment. All right, where did they go all of a sudden? All right, there they are. So that's why I use this little piece here, because it works great for inserting magnets. You just pour in a little glue, insert the magnet with this, and then just slide it off. And then you can wipe off glue off the top of it. So I have this little mortar piece, and you can play with them. You know, you gamers know. I've got this crystal bit. Yeah, can be played with. And this really righteous looking cannon. This thing is gnarly. Got little bits of coral on the back here and whatnot. So, very cool. A very neat little piece. I plan on doing something in this open space here on the base, just to make it more entertaining. Like you just crush someone, it's moving on to the next target. So, really great resin kits here. I can't tell you how much I love working with proper resin. Okay, that fine crap stuff, it's garbage. You don't work with it. But the resins that Mantic does, they're really good. So I would suggest doing, and collecting them and enjoying the fine detail that they have. My next job is this little shrimp seahorse guy with all the crab cluster legs. That's my next position here on this tiny base. He is size 1. I did check it. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Carry a lazing, y'all.